Nowhere is perfect, but let's face it, Switzerland gets pretty darn close. The Alps ripple across 60% of the country, and the landscapes and towns look like they've been dreamed up by a particularly imaginative child. We're talking glacier-capped peaks, crash-bang waterfalls, turreted castles of the fairy tale kind, and lakes in the most surreal shade of turquoise blue. Red trains curl up mountains to improbable heights, and clanging cowbells ring out across hilly meadows that you can skip down with Heidi-like glee. Even the culture-filled cities have magnificent backdrops of vineyards, lakes or rivers, and the mountains are never more than a whisper away. As natural beauty goes, Switzerland is off the charts. That makes it a joy to travel around, whether by train, bus, or car. Here are the 10 best places to visit in Switzerland. Number 10. Zurich. Regularly landing at the top in quality of living surveys, urban dynamo Zurich never seems to miss a beat. From cool waterside bars on the banks of the Limmat River to its alley-woven old town, where the twin-spired Romanesque Grossmünster, founded by Charlemagne in the 9th century, shines with Augusto Giacometti's rainbow of stained glass. Old masters hanging in the outstanding Kunsthaus Gallery, Le Corbusier's boldly colored architectural creations, and the edgily post-industrial Zurich West neighborhood, home to the Schiffbau, presenting cutting-edge arts in a former shipbuilding factory, notch Zurich's culture cred up even further. In mid-August, Zurich throws one of Switzerland's wildest parties, the techno-pumping street parade. Hot summer days also see locals swapping business suits for swimsuits at the city's baddie bars, lakefront and riverfront pool bars with an upbeat party vibe such as Rimini. Number 9. Appenzell and northeastern Switzerland. Northeastern Switzerland might not have the in-your-face drama of higher realms of the Alps, but it nevertheless delights in its own serene, deeply rural way, with dairy country unraveling to meet the mountains and half-timbered, gaily muraled towns all fit for a postcard. This pocket-sized region is perfect for a family vacation with a hit of culture and gentle adventure. Begin in St. Gallen, with a spin round its World Heritage Stiftsbibliothek, Abbey Library, a literary marvel and a feast of Rococo art and architecture. Move on to folksy, ridiculously pretty Appenzell, popping into the Schockeserei to sample regional cheeses. Muscling further south into the Alps, head on up to Santis at 2,501 meters for views embracing 6 countries, and then go to Württemberg, a tiny speck of a medieval hamlet home to Switzerland's oldest timber chalets. Number 8. Lucerne. Reclining on the shores of its glittering namesake lake, Lucerne is a walkable, medieval dream of a city that has a magic you can't quite put your finger on. It will grab you when you are strolling along the promenade as the sun sets in a blaze of gold and pinks, or as you cruise across its waters to mountains of myth. 2 132 meters MT Pilatus, where Wagner raved about the Alpine panorama and Queen Victoria trotted on horseback, and 1 797 meters Rigi, with a light so sublime Turner painted it in 3 different moods. The little city punches far above its weight culturally, with its iconic medieval Kapellbruck Bridge leaping across the Reuss River and the Jean Nouvel designed KKL Art Center and Sammlung Rosengart harboring a prized private collection of Picassos. Ambling past the Belle Epoque hotels lining its shores, the same views that captivated Goethe, Queen Victoria, and Wagner in the 19th century will hold you in their thrall. Number 7. Jura Mountains and Lac de Neufchâtel. In the dark forested hills along the French-Swiss border, the Jura Mountains are a natural wonder. This peaceful region has a beauty all its own: meadows of green, ancient forests, rocky outcrops overlooking a trio of lakes against an alpine backdrop, and slow-paced villages and valleys little changed in centuries. Begin with a road trip. Kick off at the Jura Vaudois Nature Park for hikes with dress circle views of Lake Geneva and Gruyere cheese tastings at rustic alpine huts. Swing north to Lac de Joux, the watchmaking village of Le Saint-Eau and Valorbe, honeycombed with Switzerland's biggest and most impressive limestone caves. Number 6. Bellinzona. With a trio of medieval castles plunked on hilltops with dress circle views of the Alps rearing beyond, good-looking, good-living Bellinzona in Ticino is like an espresso shot of Italy in southern Switzerland. You'll find a generous splash of Italian flair, food and culture in its historic center, woven with flower-draped alleys, Renaissance churches and café-rimmed piazzas that brim with life, laughter, clinking glasses, and the out-of-tune toll of countless campaniles. Top of any wish list is seeing the castles, among them the medieval stronghold of Castelgrande, which can be drawn out into a full day's activity. From the ramparts, views reach out across vine-streaked, castle-studded hills. Number 5. Swiss National Park. Switzerland has just one national park? Yes, we know it's a shock, but trust us, it's a good one. Snuggled away in a remote corner of the country's southeast on the border with Italy, the 172 sq kilometers Swiss National Park is the Alps in overdrive, a nature-gone-wild spectacle of high moors, forests, wildflower-freckled pastures, waterfalls, jewel-colored lakes, and mountains as high as the sky, where ibex, chamois, marmots, deer, and golden eagles roam and fly free. Here, wildlife rules and human intervention is kept to a conservation-driven minimum. And long may it stay that way, say park authorities. Amen. This mountainscape is so pristine, ancient, and unaltered that dinosaur tracks are still regularly found here. Lace up your boots for phenomenal hikes such as the challenging 21 kilometers, 8-hour return stomp from Zurich to the lakes of Matzken, where 23 lakes of sapphire, azure, and turquoise blue shimmer on a high alpine plateau with extraordinary views of the snow-capped Bernese, Silvretta, and Ortler Alps. Number 4. Zermatt. No peak has more pulling power than the 478 meters Matterhorn, a terrific, gnarled fong of rock that flings up above the seductive, timber chalet-filled alpine resort of Zermatt. It's Switzerland's mountain icon, so beloved by the nation that it inspired the pyramid shape of Toblerone chocolate. Zermatt is more than a one-mountain wonder. Climbers have been rocking up here since the mid-19th century, and it's still a magnet for challenging summit ascents today. Otherwise, come to hike, ski, and gaze over a sea of glaciers and 4,000 meters peaks at Matterhorn Glacier Paradise. Number 3. Geneva and Lake Geneva. In Switzerland's Western Crook, crescent-shaped Lake Geneva is a joy to behold with its mountain backdrop, spirit-lifting views, vineyards, and shoreline necklaced with handsome cities and castle-crowned towns. Marked by its rainbow-kissed Jet d'eau fountain and Mont Blanc peeping up on the horizon, Geneva wraps around the lake's southern shore. The worldly city makes an excellent launch pad for exploring with big-hitting museums and galleries to absorb, botanical gardens to stroll, lidos to swim, old town cafes to hang out in, and bright yellow mouettes ferrying locals across the water. Surely one of the world's most scenic commutes. Number 2. Bern. Bern often pops up in those I can't believe it's the capital trivia questions, but frankly, Switzerland's first city deserves more love. The cobbled, flag-bedecked medieval Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage treat with 6 kilometers of covered arcades, cellar shops, and bars, fantastical folk figures topping 16th century fountains, and the eye-grabbing Zicklog. Framed by wooded hills and split in two by the turquoise Ara River, this red-roof city looks good from pretty much every angle. It's pure storybook stuff for kids, too, with its giant who snacks on children and resident bears. Sights-wise, you'll be drawn to big hitters like the Einstein House, where the genius and Nobel laureate developed his theory of relativity, the Kunsthaus, with its outstanding fine arts collection, and Renzo Piano's wavy Zentrum Paul Klee, Bern's answer to the Guggenheim. In summer, the action's on the water with swimming, tubing, rafting, and paddleboarding along the Ara River, so bring your swimsuit. A classic float takes you from camping Eichholz to Marzilli, with knockout views of the old town. Number 1. Jungfrau. The idyllic Jungfrau region is the icing on the alpine cake of Switzerland's Bernese Oberland. Sky-high peaks, glaciers, and thundering falls elicit gasps of wonder wherever you go. Grazing the 4,000 meters mark are Switzerland's Big Three, Eiger, Monch, and Jungfrau, enshrined in mountaineering legend. Take a once-in-a-lifetime ride up to the everlasting snow at Europe's highest train station, 3,454 meters Jungfraujoch. Hike, ski, sled, and zip-line among mountains of myth in Grindelwald. Enjoy waterfalls galore in Lauterbrunnen, and tackle every kind of extreme sport imaginable in Interlaken. The Jungfrau region is the great outdoors on a blockbuster scale. Rush this region, and you'll regret it. Allow a week or more to dive in deep if you have the time. It's worth it! Great bases for dropping your bags include the astoundingly pretty villages of Wingen and Mürren.